So this morning we're tackling an issue that has sparked national debate all week. Well, not just this week, been going on for a while. Students being locked out of school for grooming infractions. The Free With Children Foundation has spoken out against this practice. And joining us now to share their perspective is the foundation's executive founder, Africa Stevens, and foundation member, Karen Dawson, both attorneys in waiting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How much longer are you waiting?
Hopefully just a couple months.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh,
Fantastic. But on the start on advocacy early. Make
Yes, from undergrad, actually.
As I said, Africa, this happens almost every single year. But let me jump in and say, the schools need rules, obviously.
Yes.
So why? What are we talking about here? The rules too strict? They shouldn't have that kind of rule? What are we talking about here?
Well, for children, what we're trying to say, rules must be in place for children, but we must also consider their rights as well. Nothing should be issued with an iron fist. Children have rights and responsibilities, and of course, constitutional rights. These are things that are inalienable and they are innate for a child as well as an adult. So if we're going to restrict their rights, it must be fair and proportionate. And we're saying just have a conversation. Don't go around just immediately issuing punitive reprimands. Have a conversation and make sure that whatever we're doing is within the ambits of the law.
Tell me a little bit about this organization. What was the catalyst for forming it?
Well, growing up, my friends and I went to traditional high school, and we observed in our classroom some friends coming, a bit sad. And we're like, okay, this is not nice. What can we do to help? So from grade 8, actually, I had the idea to have my own nonprofit. And I was at UWI during my dorm on February 19, 2019. And I said to myself, I'm going to start it today. And I went to class with my iPad and Canva, and I was typing it up. And I said, okay, today's the day. Yeah.
And it's to do what, Karen? Because you said sadness, but what was the source of the sadness, and what do you guys really do for the children experiencing it?
Well, for me, I wasn't there at the beginning when it was formed at the inception, but I think the real spirit of Free Children is really to not only advocate for the rights for children, but also we're trying to foster a better Jamaica for children here generally.
Gotcha. So you're looking at, this thing says, no school administrator should have unchecked discretion to dictate grooming rules, unchecked discretion, which is where you think we are now. And this against the backdrop of this Constitution of Jamaica, S.13, is that how you say it?
Section 13.
Section 13, guaranteeing freedom of expression, association, and protection from discrimination. So you squarely think this is a matter of discrimination and that it disproportionately affects black students? Expound for me. Come, Karen, you take it.
Okay, so we see, first of all, an issue in the content of grooming policies, as there is a bias towards black students in terms of the rules, and we also see in terms of how it's enforced.
How so?
So, for example, for the content of the policies, we see that it's really based more on Eurocentric ideals of what's acceptable or what's presentable in the school environment. Whereas for enforcement, we see that there is arbitrary enforcement. So yes, you may have written down on paper that hair for boys should be no higher than 1 inch. But in actuality, you may have that rule being only enforced for boys who are black. Whereas if you have boys who are of a different ethnic background, they are able to grow their hair much longer. You can put it up with a scrunchie, run their hands through it, and that's not an issue, which clearly that's a problem for us in terms of discrimination.
So Africa, where is the middle ground here? Because I still think if you just open it up, so you would come with him pants down my knee, and the next man have, half I'm here, plait up the next half, don't plait, then you have a mohawk, and then you have, so where is the middle ground? I actually agree with what you guys are saying, by the way, but where is the middle ground?
Well, actually, the middle ground would come with policy, seeing that the law that we have right now is a bit silent on that issue. And the Ministry of Education did have a draft policy finalized in 2023. That same policy on page 6 did refer the steps to issue these sanctions. However, I must say we're a bit uncomfortable with the final sanction being barring the student from entering no child should have that
Yep.
right.
And again, I accept that, but I'm not certain if I get the middle ground answer
man,
just
the
yet.
middle
The
ground.
other thing is, some companies, I mean, I have tattoos. Some companies wouldn't allow me to work at their company if you could see them. Well, that's not what we're here to talk
Right,
about.
but-
But I'm still trying to find out, what does the school say? All right, you can come with your hair like that, but you can't come with your hair like this. So what does the school say?
Well, even for the same draft policy, it was noted that there should be cognizance of cultural and ethnic hairstyles that are key and crucial. So, for example, you would have like braids or afros.
A
For
dreadlock.
example. Right. So those should be school administrators and school boards specifically should be mindful of that. And the policy also goes further on to say, yes, discipline is needed and rules are needed, but we need to be able to look at, again, the content and also the enforcement, ensure that there is levels to a grievance process for children and ensuring that there is a manner in which, for example, principals can oversee, okay, yes, this was arbitrary enforcement, etc.
All right. What if they break the rules? And you say don't keep them out. So what should be, I don't want to use the word punishment, but what should be the sanction then? So
Well-
they break the rules. So everybody say, all right, we like this rule. So you can wear this, you can wear that, and somebody still come with something that you're not supposed to do. So what does the school do?
So our approach would, or discussing, would be giving them gradual steps for these procedures, grievance procedures. When I was in high school, we had demerit system. The prefects come around
Remarks.
and they say, hey, rule book says this, you're in breach of this, I'm going to write you up. And I said, okay, fine, no problem. So we
You
have,
never got in trouble, Africa.
I
Come
did
on.
actually for a CD for Jonas Brothers.
A Jonas Brothers CD.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, so 3 demerits equal a suspension. And before you even escalate to a suspension, you can even get the parent to come in and meet with the dean of discipline. And you say, hey, this is a recurring infraction. Can you help me? Because we're trying and it's not getting through. Then you go from A to point Z in 2 seconds. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
So we have demerits, we have merits, we have suspension. Sometimes you don't do your homework, you have to go upstairs to the in-house suspension. Yeah, so it's a process, and what we're trying to say is it must be just,
Yes.
must be proportionate.
Fair.
Yes,
So you're pushing for policy change,
yes,
and you're saying that's something that needs to happen now.
yeah.
Yes.
With a multi-stakeholder approach.
Yes, we do see that as of January, I believe 2025, it was reported that Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon had indicated that they were engaging stakeholders in a discussion for the draft policy. So we're really eager to see what comes out of that.
Yeah.
I asked already, what should the school do? You use constitutional, the word constitutional early. So what can the parents do if you're suggesting that, you know, they're, what's the word? Breaching your constitutional
They're part of
rights.
the stakeholders.
So what
Yes,
should the
they are.
parents do? What should the parents do? Let's say if the parents feel said, no, I just hear an attorney say, you can't leave my son outside. So what should can the parents legally do something and carry the school to court or something like that?
Actually, they can, yes. But we don't want to go to the court. We can at least...
Yeah, but I'm saying,
Mediation, then.
Yeah, we can
mediation.
start.
I
Yeah.
agree with that. I just
Can
want to
start.
know what could the parents do to ensure that that doesn't happen to their child.
Okay, so from the grassroots level, of course, communication with the child and say, hey, this is affecting your education access to school. They're saying that you're doing these things. Can you please stop? And these are the ill effects of you continuing these things. And I will also personally say, okay, family trip, you won't come. Or your phone, I'll take it from you because you're not...
Consequences.
Okay. But if that continues and then the school is saying, okay, you're still not following through, we're going to bar you from entering because of the color of your shoes or your belt buckle. Now, that is a very slippery slope. You are basically telling the child that the way they express themselves is so egregious that you cannot enter the school compound. And this is where attorneys come in, because I know people hear attorneys and start shiver, but we're actually not that bad. Yeah. We're actually there to help to enforce and uphold your constitutional rights and the rule of law. No one is above the rule of law. I don't care whatever infraction you're doing, barring someone from their right to an education should not be the case.
All right. Okay.
In waiting, you know. Can you imagine that wait?
Chat plenty.
Father, okay.
Fiwi Children Foundation's executive founder, Africa Stevens, and foundation member Karen Dawson both attorneys in waiting. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Good luck. What happened after the break now?
We are going to be checking in with, soon tell you, it's Dr. Gale, Dr. Herbert Gale. We're going to talk about if we're becoming desensitized to crime. Soon come with that.